What's up, MetaNerdz? This complete breakdown of the ShaShore-class frigate will pull from every resource available. It's one of the most interesting ship concepts in all of Star Wars, and yet it's one of the most obscure. It goes back to an earlier design that served the Alliance fleet during the Galactic Civil War. With this earlier craft you can sort of think of as a prototype being deployed during the Yuuzhan Vong War, and it played a notable role in the Battle of Shramur. In the aftermath of the Vong invasion, the ShaShore-class was integrated into a broader initiative to modernize Galactic Alliance naval forces, with production centered at the Mon Calamari shipyards. Unlike the purpose-built Scythe-class battlecruisers and Tri-Scythe-class frigates, the ShaShore was celebrated for its adaptability, capable of being refitted for a wide array of secondary roles. And be sure to use the link in the description and pinned comment to get 10% off everything at geekygrotto.com. They have an amazing selection from fantasy to space and military, real-world buildings, and parts to build anything you could think of, 10% off using our link. Each of these sections specialize in something, with these blades and pods being much like the blister pods on the MC line of ships, which could be entire secondary craft, smaller escape pods, to everything from turbolasers to shield projectors. These modular units for the ShaShore have various arrays of turbolasers, torpedo tubes, ion cannons, point defense, or long-range sensor pods, sensor jammers, and other devastating barrage-style missile launchers. So it really played into the design idea that was inspired by the New Class modernization program. That was a dramatic shift from the thousands of ship types in the Rebel Alliance being a ragtag group into a proper standardized fleet for the New Republic. And now we're seeing these modular, mission-specific sections combined with the great craftsmanship of the Mon Cala shipyards, likely coming out around the 80s APY, taking full advantage of the fact that they were no longer underdogs, but hope to amplify the effects of proper supply lines, refit stations, and bases spread all across the galaxy, and overall it's just a logistical wonder in general. They went from a situation where every hangar would see different types of ships, with almost nothing being interchangeable, to being able to change out this entire front section for one of their mainline craft. But what is funny to consider is that it's almost like the fish folk felt they had maxed out their Shield God characters and moved on to a new game. The real reason was the pressure coming from the Imperial Remnant turned Fel Empire, which made the Galactic Alliance take an almost CIS approach to their fleets, and go from a greater number of cheaper and more mobile craft. So this Mon Cal creation does not boast significant defenses like triple shields. Instead, it is hoping to rely on its allies in the fleet to deliver overwhelming firepower as quick as possible, while itself being more fast and maneuverable than most ships of its size. Sadly, we don't get exact atmospheric or megalight speeds, but it does have a Class 1 hyperdrive. The standard loadout was 6 turbolaser batteries, 2 point defense cannon batteries, and 2 proton torpedo batteries, which is rare to see. It's not just 2 launcher tubes. Since they're batteries, it might be 8 or even 16 individual tubes in total, with a payload of 80 on board, which is still half the Scythe, but this was meant to be a more general purpose craft, not the assassin role the Scythe was made for, with its cross-of-fire tactics. It also had a complement of 24 CF-9 Crossfire starfighters and 2 Krix-class armored shuttles, with a crew of 1,200 carrying 250 troops and a cargo capacity of 7,000 tons, or around 5,000 Jabbas. All in the size of around 650 meters, or 0.4 miles, about 3/4 the Scythe and Munificent. The ShaShore's versatility proved invaluable during the Battle of Kamas, where multiple ShaShore-class frigates engaged in intense combat, though at least one was defeated by the relentless Imperial barrage. When the Galactic Alliance became the Galactic Alliance Remnant, mirroring the fall of the Empire, the remaining ShaShore-class frigates continued to serve with distinction, balancing roles as frontline warships and diplomatic couriers, with one famous case being when it transported Admiral Gar Stasi to the Wheel, for the unrivaled high-stake negotiations with Captain Mingo Barvark of Emperor Fel's Imperial faction. Though those talks ultimately failed, these frigates would prove crucial during the Battle of Dak, where they helped secure the advanced Star Destroyer prototype Imperious. This victory not only provided the Alliance with cutting-edge technology, but also acted as a critical morale boost, at this time when they were the Galactic Alliance Remnant. By 137 ABY, they remained an integral part of the Galactic Alliance fleet, participating in coordinated operations alongside Fel loyalist forces against the Sith Navy, as alliances always shifted, and the Mon Calamari and Galactic Alliance leadership took on surprising allies in their struggle for galactic stability. All in all, I really love this kind of ship. All we need are modular parts for the main body. Then we could go for more specialized roles, some acting like more troop carriers, some smaller and just for recon or sensor jamming, a combination of all sorts of mission-specific things, and of course ones that just opt for all-out destruction. For that, I always go with ion cannon torpedo combo on a small and fast body. but let me know what you think. Is this modular weapons section idea something you want to see more of in Star Wars? And are there other ships like this that you want me to look into? As for behind the scenes facts, it was initially misidentified as the Sabertooth in its first appearance, and I'll be covering the Sabertooth next. Its official designation remained unconfirmed, but we get most of the details from this Legacy era campaign guide. And when Sean Cook, who did all of the artwork for the ships of this era, did the cover for Dark Horse Comics Star Wars 2013 number 11, he included a design resembling an older ShaShore-class vessel, subtly placing it within the Rebel Alliance fleet. And that's how we get the lore connection that this has been a Mon Cala sort of prototype for almost a century, serving in some sort of iteration during the Galactic Civil War. Please hit that like button, it's the best way to help me out. Check out the links in the description, members get early access to videos, and check out these recommended videos, I'm sure you'll like them. But most important of all, remember, amateurs talk about tactics, fishfolk professionals study logistics, and the Force will be with you, always.